Marhaba, my name is Megan and welcome back to Wanderlust Voyages. Today we have another Wanderlust American kitchen recipe. Today's recipe is one of my absolute favorites, chocolate peanut butter cupcakes. Now, cupcakes have been something of my specialty for a while. I love to make cupcakes, experiment with different flavors and different frostings and fillings, but this is absolutely one of my favorites. Chocolate and peanut butter just go so well together, and with this smooth, light, but still very rich frosting topping, incredibly delicate and tender chocolate cupcakes, it is an incredible combination. Of course, the cupcakes can be made with any frosting you'd like, but my favorite, of course, is peanut butter. So let's go make some cupcakes. To make our chocolate cupcakes, we're going to need 1 cup of flour, 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1/2 cup yogurt, 1 1/4 cup water, 1/2 cup vegetable oil, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 egg, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. To make the cupcakes, you want to start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees. Now we will start by sifting together our flour, our cocoa powder, and the salt and baking soda. We do this to get all the lumps out. And it also helps to aerate the flour a bit. It keeps it from being too clumped and heavy, and it makes for a more tender cake. Okay, as you can see, cocoa powder does like to have a lot more clumps, so you may need to use a spatula to get all of that out. And again, if you use a coarser type of salt, like I use kosher salt, you're gonna have to dump that in. Okay, now we are going to add our sugar and give this a good stir together. Now we need to put it on the stand mixer, and we will add our liquid ingredients. So we're going to add the vanilla, the yogurt. You can also use sour cream instead of unsweetened yogurt. The vegetable oil, the water, and the egg. So we are going to put this on the mixer, or you can do it by hand, of course, and you want to blend it until it is well incorporated. You don't want any streaks of flour, but again, you don't want to go too far, or you can overwork the batter and make it tough. If you are doing it by hand or with a mixer, you want to use a whisk. All right, as you can see, it is a very thin batter. Don't worry, this is going to bake up nice and firm. So, we are going to use a muffin pan or a cupcake pan. It really helps to line it with paper cups. If you don't have any, you can just grease it. and use about a quarter cup or so per cupcake. And because this is a very liquidy batter, you do need to be careful not to drip it everywhere. And you want them about 3/4 of the way full. They're going to expand and you don't want it to run all over the pan. So this is going to make about 12.5 cupcakes. All right, so I will fill the other pan, wipe up anything that dripped so we don't have it burning on there, and then bake it at 350 for 12 to 15 minutes. We'll see you soon. Okay, our cupcakes have come out of the oven. They have passed the toothpick test where you put a toothpick in, and as long as it comes out clean, they are all done. We let them cool in the pan for about 5 minutes and then transferred them to a wire rack. Now we're going to let them cool completely while we make our frosting. So to make peanut butter frosting, we need 1 cup of smooth peanut butter. We're going to add this to our mixing bowl along with 1 stick of softened butter, or 1/2 cup. We will blend this together until it is smooth and creamy, and then we're going to blend in about 2 cups of powdered sugar, a little bit at a time, about 1/3 to 1/2 cup at a time. And then to make sure that we get a nice soft frosting, we're going to add anywhere from 1 to 3 tablespoons of milk. So let's get this blended up. All right, this is nice and smooth. We're going to start by adding some sugar. Remember, you want to incorporate it slowly just so that you don't get a big puff of sugar all over your kitchen while you try to blend it. So with this last addition of sugar, I'm going to also add a large pinch of salt. Not only does salt help bring out the flavor of anything sweet or savory, but peanut butter cups also have a nice little bit of salt to help offset all of that sugar. So just a large pinch, maybe a little bit more because I like my peanut butter just with a little bit of salt. Be sure to scrape down your bowl as well. Some of that butter and peanut butter is up on the side and you need it to all incorporate. Okay, this is still looking a bit too stiff for piping on top of our cupcakes. So I'm going to scrape things down a little bit more and then add a bit more of our milk. And of course you do want to blend this on high speed. You want to get it a little bit light and airy. All right. We're still just a bit too firm to get it through the piping bag. So I'm going to add the rest of the milk. And if you go a little bit too far the other way and it ends up too soft, you can always add a little bit more powdered sugar. All right, there we go, a nice light and fluffy buttercream. Now to top our cupcakes, we will need a pastry bag and a star tip. If you don't have this, you can use a plastic bag and cut off the corner. And of course you want a large star tip. If it is a small star tip, it's going to be very tough to get this through. And while these are excellent the day you make them, like any buttercream, it is a little bit better on day 2. You want to give the sugar a little bit of time to fully blend in. You don't want it to taste like powdered sugar. If you do decide to store it in the fridge overnight, remember to bring it to room temperature and whip it again before you pipe it. Otherwise, it is going to be very solid and burst your piping bag instead of piping neatly onto your cupcakes. Okay. And there we go. And there you have it, delicious chocolate peanut butter cupcakes. Bon appetit!